Hello, welcome to the final episode of the ATL Show for this year. After 4 weeks of entertaining competition, the finals have been run and won, and Dave Bidmeade, some exciting results.
There have been, Pete, some awesome tents we've seen across all conferences in the ATL competition and onwards and upwards to the ATL playoffs in January.
Coming up here at Melbourne Park, let's get into the finals action. Let's start off with the New South Wales and ACT conference played in both Sydney and Canberra over the past 4 weeks. Some exciting action, and the men's final didn't fail to disappoint, with ATP Sydney grabbing the win in some rain-affected conditions.
That's right, they had to come back and finish this match up a couple of days later, but very exciting start for ATP Sydney. Adam Feeney and Nick Lindahl winning their first matchups, and then Nick Kyrgios picking one back for Canberra. So 2-1 up going to the rain delay. And then Ryan Henry put them 3-1 up, ATP Sydney in that number 4 position going into the doubles.
So great performance there from ATP Sydney, 5-1 winners there. On the women's side of things, in the regular season, it was close between the Asia Pacific Tennis Institute Steelers and Canberra Velocity. Bit of a blowout though in the final with the Steelers 5-1.
That's right, they actually won all 4 singles. So very tight in the first couple of positions with Monique Adamczak and Stephanie Bengtson just winning in 3 sets. And then Julie Moriarty and Trudy Musgrove getting the job done. So they were 4-0 up going into the doubles and it was all sewn up. So great result for them.
Yeah, they're off to the ATL playoffs in January. The Victorian finals of the ATL were held at the Kooyong Tennis Club, and mixed results for the home team. On the women's side, scoring a good win over the Frankston Firebirds 4-2. It was a close match.
It was 2-2 after the singles, Pete, highlighted by an outstanding match at number 1 between Sally Pearce and Storm Sanders. This went down to the wire to a sudden death tiebreak in the third set, a 40-shot rally, and then Storm Sanders hit a ripping backhand up the line for the win to get the win for the Firebirds. But that went 2-2. Had a bit of a rain delay. They came back and Kooyong won both doubles and won that 4-2.
Michaela Johansson was part of that winning doubles combination. We caught up with her straight after the match.
I really enjoyed playing this short format. Suits me well, and it's exciting, quick matches, so it's good for the crowd as well, I think. And got a lot of good matches in a short time.
On the men's side, not such good news for your Kooyong Classics, Dave, but Liston far too strong.
They were very strong. Sam Groth led the way over Andrew Whittington. A very tense match, winning that in 3 sets. Andrew Quaylo pegged one back for Kooyong over Matt Reid, but then Rubin Statham and James Lenke too strong in the 3rd and 4th positions, and then very close in the doubles, but Liston taking it out.
Yeah, one of the strongest teams in this ATL competition. Rubin Statham, one of their stars. We caught up with him after the match.
I think all the players have really embraced the new format and actually quite enjoy it, even though it's different. So, and I think it's great for the crowd. The crowd really gets into it, and overall, it was a really good idea to put that in place.
Big crowds in Adelaide at Memorial Drive for the final of the SA conference of the ATL. Unfortunately, some lopsided results. The Glenlea Gators, a very strong lineup, 5-1 winners over the drive.
They were, Pete, some young superstars in this team with Luke Saville, Thanasi Kokonakis, Jack Shapansky, and a few experienced players with Todd Lay and Darren Polkinghorn also in this lineup. But they got job done, 4-0 in the singles and only lost one of the doubles. But it was a very close match at number 1 with Luke Saville and Colin Eblethite of the drive, with Saville just winning 4-3, 4-3.
Yeah, it's been a big year for Luke Saville, Male Junior Athlete of the Year at the Newcomb Medal. He picked up that award among many that he's picked up over his career. We caught up with him straight after the match.
Well, Colin's a great player. We've had a lot of good matches. We played in the final here last year and he got me 4-2, 4-2. I knew it was going to be a tough match. He's a great player. He's a travelling pro as well. Top 100 in the ATP World men's doubles ranking, so quality player, and I was thrilled to get the win for my team tonight.
A comprehensive win on the women's side of things as well, with the Flagstaff Freighters getting the win over the Golden Grove Lions. And Dave, the Flagstaff Freighters have been the form team all competition.
They have been, and one of the form players, probably the player of the conference in SA, Bojana Babusic, getting a win 4-love over Stefana Petrov in the final, showing her class. Also Karolina Właszczyk, 4-love 4-1 in the final. They've been really strong for that team, and the whole team has been really outstanding. They really thoroughly deserve the win here.
Including Olivia Lukasiewicz. We caught up with her straight after her doubles win.
Well, I think many of the teams are very competitive, especially now with the other states being involved and also the Asia Pacific countries as well. So I think Melbourne will be extremely tough. Every team will have great players. I think having Bojana Babusic from WA and Carolina Walderzak from Victoria, and also having qualified Victoria Raichich from Victoria will hold us in good stead for Melbourne, hopefully.
Over to WA now, where one of the big highlights of the final was the weather. Stormy conditions around Perth, forcing plenty of matches to be abandoned. But the Giants, too strong in both the men's and women's competition. And Dave, we'll start off with the women's side of things. The Giants have been the form team all season. It continued in the final.
It did, and Jess Moore, number one for the Giants, leading the way. She was again in great form. And someone we're all very familiar with, Alicia Mollick, getting out there for the Giants.
Great to see her supporting the ATL competition, but a good win for the Giants. They've been the form team on the women's, as they have for the men's as well. Again, affected by the rain, but the Giants grabbing the win.
Headed by Miles Armstrong, Zach Ichstein, a couple of lefties at the bottom there, Adam Carey and Brenton Bacon, always tricky. But they have been the dominant side in the West. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how they go compared to some of the other more hyped-up teams in the other conferences in the ATL playoffs, because that's going to be interesting.
We look forward to seeing them at Melbourne Park in January. Taking a look at the Queensland Conference now, and beautiful conditions at Mount Gravatt for the men's and women's deciders. Let's start off on the women's side first. The Shore Park Sharks grabbing the win over the Beenleigh Blaze. But Dave, the Blaze having the early running.
They did, with Shannon Goals using her experience to get the win for the Blaze at number one over Rachel Trudeau 4-2, 4-2. But after that, it was the young superstar lineup from the Sharks getting the job done, with Lizette Cabrera, Leanne Hong and Aisling Summer all getting the win and setting up the victory for the Sharks.
Yeah, well-deserved win by the Sharks. We caught up with the entire team after the match.
We have a really good chance of winning the title, especially under these circumstances with the first to four and the lets and the short juices. You know, anyone can win it.
Taking a look at the men's side now, and it was all about Tennis Brisbane, with the Chargers getting the win over the Tornadoes. And Dave, no John Millman in the Chargers lineup, but they were still far too good.
They were far too good, and it shows the depth of this team, Pete. They have a great lineup and going to be one of the teams to beat in January for the ATL playoffs. Michael Look, Robert Smith, Gavin Van Pepperzeel and Joel Lindner all getting the job done in the singles, and they won the doubles as well for a 6-0 victory. But for the Tornadoes, unlucky because they have a great team as well, with Isaac Frost, Caden Hensel, Leon Frost and Scott Pudzanausis. But the Chargers, tell you what, bring Millman back in the team and they are going to be incredibly hard to beat.
And they were pretty excited after the match.
Yeah, I think we owe the depth to Warwick, our team manager, Tennis Brisbane. He recruited really well for this team, and I don't know, I was a bit disappointed. Someone told me that there's national rankings out and we were only third, so I'm hoping to go down to Melbourne and show that we're a bit higher than third. So I think we've got a really good shot.
Well, that just about wraps it up for the ATL show. Well, the competition now moving to January at Melbourne Park during the Australian Open, the 22nd to the 24th. There's going to be some great competition with the playoffs.
Isn't there? I mean, it's going to be so competitive. Some of these teams have some great players, some of the best tennis players in Australia all competing in the finals.
Well, and also teams from New Zealand, from the Pacific and across Asia as well are coming to play at Melbourne Park against our Aussie Stars.
That's right. Make sure you get down there and support. I'll be there, Pete. Yourself?
Oh, absolutely, we'll be there. And you can be here as well with a ground pass in the second week. Excellent value, the Australian Open. And check out the ATL as well. For more information about the ATL competition, you can check out our website, tennis.com.au/competitions. Also the Facebook page and Twitter with the hashtag ATL Show. And we look forward to your company in January for the ATL playoffs.